Hello everyone, welcome to LevelUp IAS. In today's video, we will discuss CSAT 2021 reading comprehensions. This is the first video in which we will discuss first 5 passages of set A. So, as we have already discussed 2023, 2022 full question paper, we will discuss 2021 today. So, first thing, which is the first step that we will do is, we will see what kind of passages were asked in the examination, length of passages and how many questions were there. So in the first 5 passages, you will see that the passage length is normal. It is not that lengthy and there is only one question with it. We will not say that the passage is very easy. Like in 2022, we saw that level of difficulty was very easy. In 2021, again, length is normal, an average size passage, and then you have one question with it. Along with it, you have next the third passage, again of the almost of the same length and one question. Passage 4, again almost of the same length and one question along with it. Also, you will see in question, you are not getting more direct questions, you are also getting questions with at least 2-3 statements. So that is one factor. And then in passage 5, again same length and one question. So the first 5 passages of 2021 were of average length, and then question was also only one question was there with each passage. So now we'll see what is the level of difficulty. See why we analyze length of passages. What is the time that you will take to read it? If the passage is very lengthy, then you can say that it is such a lengthy passage and only one question. So I will come back to it. I will further read passages that are easy, that are of let's say medium and smaller length. So moving on to the first passage. In passage 1, we have this statement: researchers simulated street light on artificial grasslands and so on. We will read the question first, then we will go on to reading the passage. Which one of the following statements best reflects the most critical inference that can be made from the passage given above? So first inference is low intensity light has more adverse effect on plants as compared to high intensity light. That means low intensity light more effect है as compared to high intensity light. So we are doing a comparison between low intensity and high intensity. ठीक है? So this we have to keep it in mind that while reading the passage, you will see whether there is any comparison of such sort done or not. Next, light pollution can have a permanent adverse impact on ecosystem. Okay, so light pollution ka bhi there it can have a permanent adverse impact on ecosystem. Option C is white light is better for the flowering of plants as compared to light of other colors. ठीक है, white light better है as compared to light of other colors. That means comparison between white light and other colors. Proper intensity of light in an ecosystem is important not only for plants but for animals too. Next, in fourth option, we are discussing about importance of intensity of light in an ecosystem. Okay, so all the 4 options are different, totally different context. यहाँ पर लो इंटेंसिटी लाइट हाई इंटेंसिटी लाइट का कंपैरिजन है. यहाँ पर लाइट पॉल्यूशन कैन हैव अ परमानेंट एडवर्स इम्पैक्ट. व्हाइट लाइट इज बेटर, यहाँ पे व्हाइट लाइट एंड अदर लाइट के बीच में कंपैरिजन है. एंड इन ऑप्शन डी इंटेंसिटी ऑफ लाइट, वी आर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट इंटेंसिटी ऑफ लाइट, how it is important for ecosystem, plants and animals both. All options are different. That means this is a easy passage. कि आपने passage से जो answer find out किया, that will be your answer. You will not get confused among options. ठीक है? So now read the passage. Researchers stimulated street lighting on artificial grassland plots containing pea aphids, sap-sucking insects at night. So researchers ने at artificial जो simulated है grassland plots, यहाँ पर they simulated street lighting and they had pea aphids, sap-sucking insects at night. ये सब insects वगैरह भी थे, so they also got influenced to it. Next, these were exposed to 2 different types of light. एक white light similar to newer commercial LED light and an amber light similar to sodium street lamps. The low intensity amber light was shown to inhibit मतलब stop, ठीक है. So low intensity amber light ने क्या किया, stop rather than induce flowering in a wild plant of the pea family, which is a source of food for the pea aphids in grasslands. ठीक है. So एक plant which is a source of foods for the pea family, उस पे क्या effect हुआ, low intensity light से it stopped, that is shown to inhibit the growth rather than बढ़ाने के लिए. आप light दे रहे हो, उससे growth is stopping. Next, the number of aphids was also significantly suppressed under the light treatment due to limited amount of food. Obviously बात है, you are stopping growth of plants. Plants per pea aphids were dependent, so aphids are also reducing. In the whole passage, we are talking about how influence of light से क्या effects हो सकते हैं. How under influence of light at night, natural light नहीं थी, there were two types of light, white light and other light, but white light and other light के बीच में comparison नहीं बताया. We don't know which one was better, which one was causing more bad effects or not. We know that इस low intensity light से ये हुआ, high intensity light से क्या हुआ, we don't know. So firstly I know comparison नहीं है low and high intensity के बीच में. Comparison white light and अदर कलर लाइट के बीच में भी नहीं है. व्हाइट लाइट इज बेटर फॉर फ्लावरिंग ऑफ प्लांट्स, ऐसा भी देयर इज नो स्टेटमेंट. नेक्स्ट, प्रॉपर इंटेंसिटी ऑफ लाइट इन एन इकोसिस्टम इज इंपॉर्टेंट. इंटेंसिटी ऑफ लाइट की बात नहीं हुई. दे आर नॉट सेइंग मोर लाइट एंड लेस लाइट, ठीक है. दे आर सेइंग हाउ व्हेन दे वर एक्सपोज्ड टू लाइट, व्हाट हैपेंड वाज दे growth stopped. They inhibit the growth of these plants, and because of this animals also faced problems. ठीक है. So light pollution can have permanent adverse impact on an ecosystem. So plant stop होंगे, animals stop होंगे, that means पूरे ecosystem पे impact हो सकता है. ठीक है. So we are because यहाँ पर क्या है, intensity of light. We are not talking about intensity of light. हम ये नहीं बोल रहे कि उस light को कम कर देते तो ऐसा होता. No, we are not saying that the light was very strong. We are just saying that the light itself, जो light pollution है itself, it had exposing to light itself had adverse impact on it. So light pollution can cause permanent adverse impacts on an ecosystem. Option B will be your answer. Next, passage 2. Again, in this one, you have, okay, in this you have a lot of statements, 4 statements. इसमें से भी select करना है. So what we'll do is, instead of reading all of this, we will just read the passage first. Approximately 80% of all flowering plant species are pollinated by animals, including birds and mammals. So plant species का pollination approximately it is done by animals, including birds and mammals. But main pollinators कौन होते हैं? Insects. Pollination is responsible for providing us with a wide variety of food as well as many plant-derived medicines. At least 1/3 of world's agricultural crops depends upon pollination. Bees are the most. यहाँ तक क्या बताया? सबसे पहले pollination कौन करता है? Who? Animals. Mainly bees also. Mainly insects and उसमें भी bees. ठीक है. Bees are dominating. Bees are most dominating. Next, at least 1/3 of world agricultural crops depends upon pollination. Importance भी है. What is the importance of pollination? Next, bees are the most dominant taxa when it comes to pollination and they are crucial to more than 400 crops. So, इतने सारे crops होते हैं उसमें अब pollination की बात करें तो we are talking about bees because they are the most important taxa. They are responsible for pollination of more than 400 crops. Next, pollination is an essential service that is the result of intricate relationship between plants and animals. So क्या है अब pollination? What is pollination? What is pollination. So first paragraph, first sentence में how pollination happens, who does pollination, ठीक है, main pollinator कौन है, insect. नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ में, नेक्स्ट लाइन में एटलीस्ट हमारी बताइए, आर डिपेंडेंसी ऑन पॉलिनेशन, 1/3 ऑफ वर्ल्ड एग्रीकल्चरल क्रॉप्स डिपेंड्स ऑन पॉलिनेशन. नेक्स्ट we are talking about how bees are the most important, how they do pollination 400 crops का. Next, pollination is an essential service है, ठीक है, that is the result of intricate relationship between plants and animals and reduction or loss of either affects the survival of both, ठीक है. Effective pollination requires resources such as refuges of pristine natural vegetation. ठीक है, so now we are talking about how pollination happens plants and animals के बीच में. it is an essential service, survival of both के लिए है. and effective pollination क्या क्या require होती है for it to be effective, so resources such as refuges of pristine natural vegetation. ठीक है. Next, on the basis of the passage given above, following assumptions have been made. Sustainable production of India's cereal food grains is impossible without the diversity of pollinating animals. Now, on the basis of passage, have we anywhere talked about how sustainable production in our country is not going to happen, or that to cereal food grains is dependent on pollination? Too much information that too which is not mentioned, not there in the question. ठीक है. So first statement is we are dicey on it. We can eliminate it also, but let's see the options. Monoculture of horticultural crops hampers the survival of insects. Again, monoculture के बारे में हमने कहीं भी बात नहीं की. We are not talking about monoculture. सिर्फ pollination के बारे में. In the whole passage we are talking about pollination, how it happens, who does it, what happens in pollination. Next you have pollinators become scarce in cultivated areas devoid of natural vegetation. See, अभी वहां पर हमने क्या पढ़ा था? For pollination, we require resources, pristine natural vegetation. ठीक है. So obviously अगर natural vegetation नहीं होगी, pollination scarce. Pollination becomes scarce means come, limited. Pollinators become scarce in cultivated areas devoid of natural vegetation. Next, diversity in insects induce diversity of plants. ये तो we can conclude this. ये assumption हो सकती है. जितने insects होंगे, diverse insects होंगे, they will be responsible for diversity in plants because they are doing pollination. So let's say bee is sitting on this pollinating this plant or this flower A. Then another insect responsible for pollinating of another plant. So more plants will be there. ठीक है. So according to this, now we know that 3 and 4 should be our answer. We know 2 cannot be our answer because monoculture के बारे में we have not talked about. So 2 cannot be our answer. 3 and 4 should be our answer. Option D. ठीक है. This will be final conclusion. Even though 1 में sustainable for India, हम there was one point in which we said that 1/3 of our agriculture produces sustainable is dependent on pollination. But firstly that statement, first statement, ये क्या है? बहुत ही ज्यादा डेफिनेट स्टेटमेंट है कि इट इज इम्पॉसिबल. सस्टेनेबल प्रोडक्शन ऑफ इंडिया cereal food grains specifically is impossible without this pollinating, without the diversity of pollinating animals. ठीक है. So this is again not the correct one. अगेन इसमें ये भी बोला डाइवर्सिटी, एनिमल्स भी बहुत ज्यादा होने चाहिए पॉलिनेट करने के लिए. सो ऐसा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. Even if there are a few pollinators, then also it can happen. It is not that it cannot happen. ठीक है. So passage 3. A study conducted on impacts of climate change over the Kaveri Basin of Tamil Nadu using regional climate models showed an increasing trend for maximum and minimum temperatures. Okay, so एक study की showed that increasing trend, maximum temperature and minimum temperature are increasing, decrease in the number of rainy days. ठीक है, मैक्सिमम मिनिमम टेम्परेचर का ट्रेंड बढ़ रहा है, डिक्रीज रेनी डेज जो है, नंबर ऑफ रेनी डेज आर डिक्रीजिंग. These climatic shifts will have an impact on hydrological cycles in the region. So, जो भी region में hydrological cycles है, water cycles है, it will have an impact on it. Lead to more runoff and less recharge and affect the groundwater table. Further, there has been an increase in frequency of droughts in the state. This has driven farmers further. Frequency of droughts. Droughts are also more. You have seen that number of rainy days are decreasing, droughts will increase. So, this has driven farmers to increase dependency on groundwater resources. So, which of the following best reflects crux? Crux is something जिसको आप एक लाइन में बोलो तो पूरा पैसेज समझ जाओ, ठीक है? You state one line and you can understand the basic idea, basic thing of the passage, ठीक है? Development of regional climate models helps in choosing climate smart agriculture practices. See, in the whole passage, we are talking about how water issues due to climate change are affecting us. In this, we are talking about agriculture wala farmers ko. What are farmers doing? Okay, they are depending on groundwater resources. So, development of regional climate models help in choosing climate smart agriculture. This is an action. If I say which of the following should be an action to take to combat this problem, you will say development of regional climate models, okay, so that farmers know which practice to follow. But this is an action, this is not the crux of the passage. Heavy dependence on groundwater resources can be reduced by adopting dry land cropping system. Again, it can be reduced, but ये पूछा ही नहीं कि heavy dependence on groundwater resources कैसे होगा, crux पूछा है, ठीक है? Climate change increases the criticality of water resources while simultaneously threatening it. ये तो बहुत ही generalized, telling everything about the passage, how we are water issues. Climate change is causing water issues. Maximum temperature rise में problem, then water cycle में problem, hydrological cycle disturbed, number of rainy days reducing, drought increasing, because of which groundwater dependency increasing. So climate change increase criticality of water and further threatening it. Climate change caused the farmers to adopt unsustainable livelihoods and risky coping strategies. Of course, this is also true, but this is not the crux of the passage, not crux. So, ये statement सारी true है. Development of regional climate models will help in choosing the right way to practice agriculture. But this is not the crux of the passage. We want crux of the passage. Crux is passage में क्या बोला है. In this passage, we are talking about how climate change से water issues हो रहे हैं, which is further leading to this issues. So, option C will be your answer. Now, moving on to the fourth passage. Again, let's read the passage first, then we will solve the questions, and then in the question option, you can see you have 1, 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3. This means when you have this type of option, this means if you eliminate 1, let's say you eliminate 1, that then you can say कि अगर 1 नहीं होगा, that means option B is my answer. Okay, so if from these statements you feel one of the statements can be easily eliminated, you can come to your answer. We know these options are helpful for us. Okay, now next also read the passage first. Researchers were able to use stem cells. Stem cells किस लिए use किए? To gauge the neurotoxic effects of environmental pollutant BPA. Okay, environmental pollutant BPA के neurotoxic effects थे. Researchers were able to use stem cells to cause these effects. They used a combination of biochemical and cell-based assays to examine the gene expression profile during differentiation of mouse embryonic stem cells upon treatment with BPA, a compound known to cause heart disease, diabetes and development abnormalities in humans. So, BPA जो है, it is a compound which causes heart diseases, diabetes and developmental abnormalities in human being. क्या किया? They use combination of biochemical cell-based assays to examine gene expression. Gene expression examine करने के लिए gene expression profile during differentiation of mouse embryonic stem cells अपॉन ट्रीटमेंट विद बीपीए. ठीक है, सो माउस के एम्ब्रियोनिक स्टेम सेल पर बीपीए का जब ट्रीटमेंट हुआ, व्हाट हैपेंड डिफरेंशिएशन के टाइम, वो सब इन्होंने देखा यूजिंग दिस एंड दैट. दे वर एबल टू डिटेक्ट and measure BPA toxicity towards proper specification of primary germ layers. What is the level of toxicity in primary germ layers such as endoderms, ectoderms and establishment of neural progenitor cells. ठीक है, सो यहाँ पर हम चेक करते हैं. This is about the passage. Next, on the basis of passage given above, following assumption has been made. BPA may alter embryonic development in vivo. See, we just now read that BPA has this effect on genes. जीन एक्सप्रेशन टेस्ट किया था. ठीक है, तो अगर जीन्स पे भी इफेक्ट पड़ रहा है, that means BPA may alter embryonic development. Of course it can. Also option में क्या given है? May. Now BPA is such a ये toxic compound है, it may do that. It may have that effect, we don't know. ठीक है, so it can have, one can be our answer. Biochemical and cell-based assays are useful in finding out treatments for pollution-induced diseases. So now you see, how can you find out treatment? You can firstly are useful in finding out treatment. नहीं, अभी we are just analyzing कि what is the effect of BPA on this cell structure, this gene. ठीक है, so establishment of neuroprogenitor cells, ठीक है, towards the proper specification of germ layers, endoderms and so on. Detect and measure BPA toxicity. Detect and measure, ना कि treatment. We are not able to form treatment. ठीक है, so option 2 will not be our answer. Next, embryonic stem cells could serve as a model to evaluate physiological effects of environment pollutants. यही तो कर रहे हैं. We are doing this only. We are checking physiological effects of environment pollutants on the genes. So that is what we are doing. 1 and 3. This will be our answer. We are using stem cells to check this. Option P, 1 and 3 will be your answer. Because 2 ka we cannot prevent, we are not in the passage it is not given that using this method you can also prevent it. ठीक है. Next, passage 5. Firstly, let's read the passage. Fig trees are considered sacred in India, East Asia and Africa, and are common in agriculture and urban landscapes where other large trees are absent. So other large trees are absent, but fig trees are still common and they are also sacred. In natural forest, fig trees provide food for wildlife. So fig trees ka benefit. When other resources are scarce, support a high density and diversity of frugivores, fruit-eating animals. Frugivorous birds and bats continue to visit fig trees located in site with high human disturbance. ठीक है, so these birds and bats, they continue to visit even if human disturbance is there, वो still they continue to visit the sites. Sacred fig trees may promote frugivore abundance. Under favorable microclimate, plenty of seedlings of other tree species would grow around fig trees. So they will support in growth of other species as well. On the basis of the passage, the following assumptions have been made. So in the complete passage, we are only talking about benefits of fig trees. Fig trees can grow where other large woody species cannot grow. Again, we have read about it that fig trees can grow where other large species cannot, where other large species are absent, but it is not that they cannot grow there. ठीक है? So again, this will not be one of the answers. Sacred trees can have a role. Can have, of course, they can have a role in biodiversity conservation. Fig trees have a role in seed dispersal of other tree species. Again, in the last statement, we read that fig trees help in fig trees help in growth of other saplings and seedlings also. So this can also be the option. So from this, you can say 1, 3, and 4. All three 1, 3 and 4, option D can be your answer. Okay, so this was it for CSAT 2021. In the next video, we will do more passages of the same year. I hope that you are understanding the level of difficulty. In 2021, we'll just analyze these 5 passages right now. Length of passages was normal. Was normal, average length. It was not that short. Just in 2022, last video, we did very, very short passages. That was not there. In this 2021, length of the passages was average. Okay? So, yes, it can take a little bit of time to read the passage. But at the same time, you will see that questions were very easy, straightforward questions. Say, I think either one or two question was there, joki, let's say this one, in which you can have a little bit of a confusion. But again, the questions were not that complicated, easy level of difficulty, and language was also not difficult to understand. So I'll say these were almost just a little bit of time it will take to do the question, but the questions are easy. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next video where we will discuss more questions of CSAT 2021.